Welcome to Insert Title Here, the podcast that doesn't just ask, where's Waldo, but how's Waldo? Is he doing good? Check in with your bro once in a while. My name is Adam, also known as Technical Cake Mix. Joining me today are these two bozos. Bozos?
Hi, I'm Devon VO, and I know exactly how Waldo is. He's hiding from the world for his sins.
I'm Alexander Mogus, also known as Satrahara, and I am Waldo.
You bitch. Actually, speaking of Where's Waldo stuff, today I was at a comic book shop, and there was actually a Where's David Bowie, but in the style of Where's Waldo, and you have to find David Bowie. I found him. But it was so awesome. I loved it. I was just like, I want to buy this, but I also don't.
They sell prints from that? Like, I'd love like a giant wall print of that.
It's a puzzle. You have to make it.
Oh, yeah. I could be one of those old people who like glues the puzzle together then tries to sell it to diners.
Yeah, I guess if you want to be a boomer or something.
I mean, it could be.
Anyway, how was your weekend, people on the internet?
I did a lot of weed. I did one weed, and then after I did that weed, I did another weed, and then after those two weeds congealed into a singular weed within my body, I did another weed. And then I streamed, but then I got a headache, and then I went to sleep, and then I got Monster and felt better, and then the next day I did more weed and drank 2 whole Monsters, and now we're here.
That's a lot of Monster.
My whole weekend is weed and Monster, apparently.
I had a very boomer Sunday after a very busy Saturday.
A boomer Sunday. Tell me.
So we went out and we did a bit of shopping on the Saturday. That's Friday. Sorry, we went out and got
I cannot hear him.
A few things to hang for the front room, and I went to hang up these things. They look quite nice, and then I hang up the second one, which is a double picture set we've got, which is an octopus and a seashell on these little canvases. And me and Liz had this whole conversation before about where to hang it in the house, where we're going to hang it in the front room. And I hang it up, and I think, oh, it looks really nice up there. It looks really good, really solid. She comes downstairs and goes, you put it on the wrong wall. So that happened. They're not moving, by the way. They're staying there because my secret talent is hanging things up.
But not taking things off the wall.
Well, no, because then you got to cork it and you got to fill the hole in. So, whoops, my bad. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world.
What's the matter, Adam? You don't like filling holes with caulk?
No. Also, we grilled, which what's happening to me?
Becoming grill pilled like the first episode.
I'm becoming grill pilled. I'm becoming based. I'm doing DIY.
All you have to do now is some ivermectin, and it's complete.
Dude, I'm oh god, I'm close to 30. Then I'm 6 months off of 30. Disgusting. I'm feeling it.
Damn, bitch,
I'm feeling it.
Disgusting. What I did for my weekend, I went to church for the first time in 10 years because a family member had a event at a church location that I promised I'd go to, and it's really weird. So like not going to church for 10 years and then going to church and like attending a sermon is really weird because I don't know, it felt really culty. It was like very fucking culty. I was just like the humming and the hymns and it's just like this is all weird.
Was it?
And the worst part about the hymns though, I'm gonna say it, there are no good hymns.
Yeah,
all hymn music sucks.
Yeah,
was it a Catholic? Was it a Catholic mass? Because
no,
those are the weird ones.
It was a different. It wasn't Catholic mass. No, it was
Gotcha.
Fucking. The only difference between a cult and a religion is how many people in the general populace accept its existence.
That checks out. 10
years from
that
now,
tracks.
he's gonna pull that up and be like, "Look how edgy he is. He's like, oh, religion bad."
It was just so weird being there, though, man. It's just like,
moment.
But no, it was just so weird being there, man. Like I just haven't been into a church in like over 10 years, and just sitting there and listening to everything and like all the hymns and like all the talking and everything. It's just like, it's like Jesus helps the less fortunate. I'm just like, do he though? And they're just like, Jesus does this and the other. I'm just like, okay, but he don't though. Jesus heals our disease. And I'm just like, what the fuck's going on right now though?
It probably meant more back in the day.
What's
when,
up?
Like,
I was like,
religious. Sorry?
no, go ahead.
It said it probably meant more back in the day, though, when religious organizations were the ones who were financing and running like orphanages and hospitals. But of course, particularly in the States, that hasn't been the case now for the best part of a century.
Yeah, it was just
you still get like some. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
You still get like some hospitals named after like various saints particularly in England. Like I was born in St. Richard's Hospital, you know, and there's like St. Anne's and St. Mary's and all this other stuff are all over the place.
Yeah.
But like, it's not really a thing you hear in the States because, you know, you got a for-profit medical system. So it's like, here's the Gary Coleman Birthing Center.
It was just really weird just the whole time. I was like, yo, what's up, Jeezy boy? Where's these promises be at though? So
they're in the other Spain.
Ah, damn. But yeah, that was my weekend. It was odd as hell.
Makes sense. And somehow you didn't burst into flame.
Right? Immediately. Upon stepping to a church, I didn't immediately get set on fire. I was just like, hey, you know what? I'll take it. Now I don't have to set foot into a church for another 10 years.
You know, it's times like these, I'm really glad that I was bored by the Spinosaurus from the Dank dimension and have no family to speak of in this dimension.
Yeah, imagine what happened if Xander would step into a church. Instead of him bursting into flames, I think the whole fucking thing would go up.
I think everybody would just start screaming, a couple of people's heads would explode, but then everybody else would realize the truth and just follow me out.
And then everyone
or
would
it would
get
be like,
weed.
Look at me.
He is the dank messiah.
He looks like Chris Angel's crackhead brother, so yeah, I can see it.
I do not look like I'm on crack. Fuck you.
No,
I have too much body fat for that.
He really do, though. He really do have too much body fat for that.
Yeah, look at my titties, like in a good way, though. I'm sorry. Last time we recorded the podcast,
an audio podcast. Yeah.
Last time we recorded the podcast, I was looking at myself. I'm like, "Wow, you're getting fatter. I don't like the way your face looks right now." But then I realized, oh no, dumbass, you've been walking and lifting things again. And then today I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, "Oh fuck, no, I'm regaining muscle mass and I'm losing the fat." Ooh, and then now my chin's like, look at the sharpness here. Look at the yes.
I wish I had that.
It's like it's the chat do 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 meme.
I actually have a surprisingly sharp chin. It's just right now I've got the going on. So
fuck. Now I actually have to take pictures of my dumb chin and fucking like edit it in like that.
You also gotta pay Bring Me the Horizon some money.
I did it with my mouth, so it's fair use. If I don't use the actual audio, they can't sue me. Also, Aldi Sykes isn't a dick anymore. I'm pretty sure he'd be like, yeah, that's funny.
It's a meme. It's cool. So, go ahead.
I don't quite get like the weird like fangirl culture around him. Is he really that good looking, or is it just like a slender twink?
I have no idea. Okay. I don't want to sound like I have a boner for Ollie Sykes because I don't. I used to hate this dude. Not like hate him, but you know, like I used to be like, oh, this guy's a prick. You know, a lot of people used to be like, this guy's a prick.
For very good reason. I remember a lot of interviews with him back in the day and the rest of the band when they were first starting out. I remember in Kerrang, there was an interview where they're being followed around for a day and they do a signing in a I don't think it exists anymore, but HMV. And they get offered by the management £50 vouchers to shop at HMV, right? And the first thing they ask the staff is, and it's on record, and I think it's funny, have you got any blue? And I'm just like, everyone reading it's just like, oh, that's immature as shit. You're asking for porn, really? And then they scoff at the 50 and demand 100 each. And I'm like, what a bunch of entitled pricks.
For the American viewers listening
off.
at home, because I feel like I have to explain this, because I don't think we broached it on the podcast. I think we broached it on a stream once, but not the podcast. Blue is a slang term in England for porn films because they have a blue label on them traditionally.
Yeah, well, it was the blue films. It was blue was actually a lot of things that were like against God or whatever, but blue film just meant porn film.
Yeah.
Wait, fuck. Now my brain is immediately going like the Eiffel 55 song, but I'm blue dabba dee dabba die. It had a totally different meaning over there.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm blue dabba dee dabba.
I'm blue.
No.
I still fucking peaked. I fucking peaked there. God damn it.
I did peak once.
Why do I give myself more fucking work? Anyway, yeah, fucking. It seems like around the time of like the writing of Sempiternal, like that whole albums is like a fucking recovery album of sorts. It seems like that's when you start to go, I'm a fucking prick. And then fucking like, now I'm like, damn, now I'm the prick. And Ollie Sykes looks like the Chad. What have I done? And he's over there just like fucking dancing on my grave while I'm sitting there like a fucking virgin, like with my head fucking like hanging low, like, oh, I'm not as cool as Ollie Sykes. It's fucking weird.
They got really big on a song that was called RAR, spelled RAWR, for God's sake.
I don't
XD.
claim to like any Bring Me the Horizon song before Sempiternal, so
I must admit, I quite like some of that earlier stuff, but again, I was an edgy teenager, so like, you know.
What's the song called again?
Which RAR?
No, the other one.
Oh,
Xander. What was it?
Oh, the album is Sempiternal.
I keep hearing Simp Eternal. I'm just like,
No, it's SEMP
No, that's-
Eternal. Sempiternal.
That's me when I play Doom.
Shit.
The word pops up in the song Shadow Moses, which is named after fucking Metal Gear Solid.
Of course it fucking
I
is.
love that
Jesus
fucking
Christ,
song.
Ollie.
The Shadow Moses is such a fuck. This has just turned into the I'm sucking Ollie Sykes' dick hour. But fucking, I love fucking Shadow Moses. It's such a fucking good song. Sempiternal's a great fucking album. So is That's the Spirit.
I've never listened to it, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, definitely give it a
speaking
shot.
of
If you got,
Slender-
the fucking just time driving in the
Okay.
car.
Speaking of Slender Twinks, have you two seen what's been going on Twitter today with Slipknot?
No, I've been driving all damn day, like all day
God,
yesterday and all day
something's happened
today,
with
so I don't know what happened to Slipknot.
Nothing bad happened to Slipknot. Nothing bad happened. don't
Before
worry.
you go
It's
on,
funny.
you just gave me an actual fucking heart attack, dude. We just lost Joey. I know he's
Joey,
not in
yeah,
Slipknot
sorry.
anymore, but like we just lost Joey. Like,
Yeah. So, a certain musician named one Machine Gun Ken. I don't know his fucking
fuck
name.
this
Some sweet-
stupid fucking piece of shit.
This fucking asshole again was up on stage at his show performing. I thought it was a rapper, but he was up there with a pink guitar performing like
He
bad pop punk.
released a very bad pop punk album this year that a lot of people pretend
Yeah.
is good because they're fucking stupid, and in fucking 5 years from now they'll recognize no, it's absolutely shit.
Yeah.
Xander
So-
froze.
Go on.
Yeah. Oh, he's back here. He is up on stage there, and like apparently, I think Riot Fest was going on as well this last weekend, or was going on around the same time. He was commenting on how big his crowd was, and said, "Yeah, I'm glad you guys are all here compared to listening to some 50-year-old dudes wearing masks. That's really weird." Like, made some weird comment about Slipknot.
That could
And I'm just like, remember the last time you like started this shit with somebody? How'd that end for you, bud?
well, they're like
How'd that end for you?
most of them I think are in their 40s still. Like 50, 60, it's still like Kiss.
Yeah, what I'm waiting for, honestly, is like, because Slipknot have covered rap songs before, and they've done it quite well. Particularly Beastie Boys' Sabotage did it with Korn as like a fun little live show thing.
Yeah,
Did not
their
know
cover
they
of
did that.
their cover of Sabotage is really good.
Okay. I'm just waiting for
Sabotage?
like,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for a phone call from one Corey Taylor to one Slim Shady to be like, "Hey, bud, can I cover a Kill Shot?" Yeah, go for it.
Okay, honestly, I'd
Just
like
shut the fuck up and sit the fuck
I'd like
down.
it even better if they wrote an original song and like.
Oh, that would be.
And Corey would
I
st-
want.
And then when Eminem would go a little too Eminem, Corey would be like, "Hey, no, not that far. I don't need you. I don't need you, Illin, Willin, Dylan, Billin, Dylan with Gillin, the Billin, or some stupid shit like that. Just come on, it's a diss track. Come on."
I mean, they've written diss tracks before. Like, isn't Spit It Out allegedly about Fred Durst?
No, it's not about Fred Durst. Spit It Out is about specifically a bunch of radio stations that refused to play their shit when they were trying to fucking like come up and shit, and then after the come up, pretended after the fact, they're like, "Yeah, we've always supported these dudes." Yeah.
I mean, there's one which is allegedly about Fred Durst, which is funny as shit.
I don't remember which one that would be.
But yeah, they've made a few good digs in their time. So I'm just looking forward to this because, as we all know, Machine Gun Kelly infamously cannot win to save his damn life. So I'm thinking after this, he went from rap and reinvented himself as a pop punk icon. I'm thinking after this, he'll go to power ballads and shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. I try to imagine Machine Gun Kelly doing power ballads.
Nah, dude,
I
he's gonna do
can't.
EDM next.
Oh, for fuck's sake. At least he'll shut up.
No, because then he'll fucking sample his goddamn voice and then fucking do the baby eyes are on, and it'll be like, I peaked again. God fucking damn it, me.
Discord also filtered that out. I didn't hear a fucking
It's
thing.
dolphin noises.
Look
pretty
who's
much.
not
It's fucking
peeking.
dolphin noises.
These guys.
About to say the Chads for once are me and Devon.
I've
No
turned my shit
peeking
down
here.
too.
Oh my god. but Xander, you were telling us a story before we came on the air, and you kind of lost your train of thought there. Something about a woman on the bus.
Oh yeah, fucking shit. Fucking all right, so I've been having to go back to this goddamn grocery store I work at. So even though I don't have to actually be physically at this grocery store to do the fucking thing, I don't sell anything. I don't stock anything. I'm not a grocery store clerk. I don't work for the grocery store. I work for a company that's contracted by this grocery store to program their stupid little fucking passcode thingies to let them in the thing. I can do all of this remotely and have been doing it for over a year. However, I don't have health insurance, so I can't claim a stupid fucking disability thingy. So currently I'm having to deal with it. I'm grinning and bearing it until I get health insurance for various reasons. Mostly because I have a lot of vacation time I can exploit. And why wouldn't I? But fucking, why quit the job before I use that, right? I have to go see somebody and go do something that involves that somebody and vulgar things. Of course I'm going to use the vacation time and get paid for it, right? Anyway, I'm back at this fucking grocery store. I'm on my way. I'm on this bus, right? It's fucking stupid. I hate it. I have to fucking travel bare minimum hour and a half there, hour and a half back, 3 hours of transit per day, 16 hours of fucking unpaid fucking sitting on a goddamn bus doing nothing shit because I have fucking seizures and I'm not legally allowed to fucking drive in the state of Washington. Bullshit ass. Fucking dog shit bullshit. And I'm sitting on this bus, whatever. There's a lady on the bus minding her own business. She gets on the same stop I do. We're both first to lasters. The first stop on the bus, last stop on the bus, every single fucking time. This time there's some weird dude who fucking has been like, kind of like harassing her throughout the whole thing. But like eventually people kind of like, like, hey, dude, fuck off and all that shit. He doesn't get kicked off the bus because for whatever fucking reason, people don't get kicked off the bus anymore. They're just blatantly not wearing their mask, even though it's literally a fucking state goddamn law by the fucking governor that you have to have a mask on inside. But nobody's enforcing it, so everybody's just fucking dying and fucking eating ass out here. It doesn't fucking matter. And fucking eventually we get to the stop, and this dude is still on this fucking bus. And so me, this lady, and this dude get off, and the fucking dude like goes up to her again. I'm like, oh shit. So I notice that I go to like fucking like, they're in front of me, so I go to like fucking like try to catch up to them, but I'm very sore because I haven't been fucking like doing this goddamn transit in a while. So it's taking me a little bit longer than it would if I'm like back in my physical prime and shit. And like she like kind of maneuvers away, and the dude gets in front of her, and she has this umbrella in her hand the whole time, and it's not raining anymore. In the place that we ended up, where we came from, because I don't want to have to end up censoring myself. I'm just gonna say where we came from.
Washington.
Where we came from was raining a lot, but where we ended up wasn't raining at all. So she just had the thing, and the dude, she like comes up in front of her, and she just swooses the umbrella. It flips around in her hand, so like the little hook side where you would like grab it, the handle, it's like this little like C hook, like perfectly comes out, and she just taps him on the underside of his fucking nuts, and it is perfectly.
Hey!
You see his balls go up, and he just lands on the fucking ground. It's just his perfect tap. And she just goes, "Have a great day, sir," and walks off.
Damn. And she gave him the Aunt May treatment.
And I'm just like, this is fucking amazing. It was so fucking good. Like, you see his balls literally fucking go up. It's like literally the underside, not the side. She doesn't grab any of the skin or whatever. It's straight up the under of both schnuts, just straight up. It was so good. And it was just a little tap. It was just a little tap too. It wasn't even like a straight on hit. It was just like it was like a beep. It was like and he just went down.
What's the opposite of a love tap?
I hate smack.
A justified warning.
Proper use of force.
Yeah.
Good.
Proper use of force.
Lord.
Thankfully, my slow, dumb bitch ass didn't have to do anything because she had it handled, and she's much better than I am.
Hey, that's the thing. Don't fucking harass people when they're trying to do their day-to-day shit, dude. Just leave them alone.
Yeah, don't harass people at all.
Yeah.
Just
don't harass people
Fuck off.
at all, ever.
If somebody has their headphones in, don't even try to fucking talk to them. Fuck off.
God, that well, I remember being a teenager going to school and I'd take the fucking bus all the goddamn time. It used to drive me nuts because like I would sit down on the bus, and I'm one of those people who doesn't really like it much when people sit next to me, particularly strangers. And like I'd always like bring headphones with me because it wasn't like as long as Xander's bus ride, to his grocery store, but it was a pretty decently long bus ride. And I would just like I'd always sit down, headphones in, and there'd always some random person next to you, and it was always the crazy one that ranked of piss, just scream, and then they'd start trying to talk to you, and I'm like, dude, no.
This is why I'm glad.
No.
This is why I'm glad I never had to deal with public transit outside of school, because it's just like I got a car and then just drove everywhere.
Oh yeah, want to learn how to drive, problem solved.
Yeah. Sorry, Xander.
And I was just here like, I can't drive because my brain goes once in a while.
Yeah. Every once in a while, my brain gets too electrically impulsive and just fucking fries itself. Not only do I have the full-blown, like blackout on the floor convulsion things, I also have the partial ones where I zone out. I also have the partial ones where in mid-sentence I just stop fucking talking and forget I'm there. I also have the ones where I have a lack of awareness that I even exist for a little bit. I got like fucking 4 different types.
And this is why he smokes his own body weight in weed a week.
Yeah, that's why my blood...
So it's legitimately one of the few things that will...
My blood concentrate level, I have to have more cannabinoids than red blood cells in my body in order to maintain like a stable fucking brain ratio.
That's
How
bad.
are you gonna... When you have to go do your long trip, by the way, how are you gonna deal on that flight?
The flight itself, probably edibles, because it's like, what, 3 hours to undisclosed location, layover, and then another 3 hours to undisclosed location. And so that's about 8 hours total, probably with layovers and waiting and delays and all that. And
You want your layover from experience, by the way, to be more than 2 hours, because you're gonna better get through security and on the other side before you gotta, like, run back on the other plane.
yeah, I don't actually know what the timings are on this. I've never had the only time I've done a layover was when I was like 5 fucking... Oh my god, you just awakened a memory. I'm like 5 years old, and me, my sister, and my mom in like the dank dimension, not in this one because I don't have family here, but in the dank dimension, like we're landing in fucking like we're trying to go to Weed, Ohio from Weed, Oklahoma, and fucking like, but like we land in like Weed, Kentucky or some shit, right? Or like Weed, Colorado, not Colorado. Colorado's the other side. Whatever fucking places in between Kentucky, Ohio, and Oklahoma. And like, as soon as we land, apparently the plane's about to fucking take off. And like, my mom grabs our hand and fucking runs us like fucking literal goddamn Wonder Woman or some shit. Like fucking picks us up without hurting us somehow. And like, fucking just vaults us over to the gate, gets us checked in, we get on the flight, and within 2 minutes of us sitting down, the thing's in the fucking air.
Jesus.
Yeah. I had a similar one when the actual flight when I moved out here. My check-in, they completely shat the bed, and we, instead of me flying direct to Philadelphia like I was supposed to, I ended up having to get a connecting flight in Charlotte. And the worst part was that I had like an hour and a half to get on this connecting flight, and all of a sudden there was an extra 300, 400 people coming off this flight that was supposed to go to Philadelphia, suddenly coming to Charlotte for connecting flights that suddenly had 300 extra 400 people on them. It was rough.
Sounds rough.
Yeah, it was an extra hour or two late. Ugh, not fun.
You guys are making me worry because I've never flown before. I'm gonna be on my first flight at the end of October.
Oh yeah, for your convention.
Yes, I'm going to an anime con, and I've just never flown before, and I'm just a little nervous.
It's fine.
So how many
I've flown.
How many stops is it going to be? Is it just a straight away?
I think it's just a straight shot from where we're at to the airport.
Okay, so I've traveled back from Washington to Oklahoma, like, and that was just one straight shot, and fucking that was fine. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I literally walked up to the TSA guy, and he was like, "Do you have your ID?" I was like, "It's expired. I have my both this expired ID and the temporary ID they gave me because they didn't have time to actually give me my actual ID." And he goes, "You can fly on an expired ID for 2 years." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah."
What?
I was like, "So I wasted 3 hours at the DMV and $60 that I could have spent on food to fly on." It might have been 2 months instead of 2 years, so don't quote me on the 2 years. He might have said 2 months. But it was freshly expired. And it was like, "Yeah, you're good to go." And I was like, oh, "Okay, fine." And then I walked in, and then nothing bad happened, and the check-in was 3 seconds. And I spent more time literally just waiting for the plane to leave than anything else. But on the way back, we got delayed 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I've flown a lot over the years. I'll be honest, like that one time aside with the connecting flight, when it was a connecting flight that wasn't supposed to happen, it's been fine. Like when I used to work for the evil company over on the West Coast, I'd fly to San Francisco a couple of times a year, and most of the times I'd fly a straight shot there. But on the way back, they nearly always have me in a connecting flight, so I'd normally land in Dallas, in DC, and that was fine because I had like a 3.5 hour layover. Got food, vibed, got back on my flight to Philadelphia, flew for an hour and a half. Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. The only thing you got to worry about, the worst parts since you're new to flying, are taking off and getting down. And I say it's an experience. When you hear them saying we're about half an hour from your destination, take a piss then. Don't care if you don't have to go. Go take a piss because landing gear bouncing with a full bladder is the fucking worst.
I don't know. Like I said, the only thing I've ever been in when it comes to flying is I've been in a helicopter before when I was on a helicopter tour, and that's it. I've never been in an actual airplane, so I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to expect. I really don't want the plane to be one of the hundreds of like. Well, it's I don't know. You know
it's
how
domestic.
It won't be
an Airbus. It'll be a fucking little tiny 2 seats row 2 seats. Domestic junket. You only fly for what, 2.5 hours, 3 hours?
No, it's just I don't even know how long the flight is. Ale has all the information, but like the thing I always say this to people who are flying. It's just like they only ever report the crashes. They never talk about the thousands and thousands of flights that actually make it. So it's just like, please don't be one of the ones that gets reported on. Oh, for the love of God! The only other thing I worry about is some right wing jackass just going off and like just not wanting to put a mask on and starting some shit on the plane. It's just like, great. Cool.
2 things. 1, you're statistically less likely to die in an airplane than you are any other fucking mode of transportation. However, I am so fucking afraid that when I go on my fucking flight, I'm gonna be put on a 747 Max or whatever the fucking ones that were the ones that are flying out of the air because they're been allowed to be flight again, and I'm like, fuck.
Fun. See, don't put
I'm putting that evil on you.
You probably won't be. You probably won't be because you two are only flying like shitty little domestic flights. Like Xander, you got 2 domestics back to back, and Devon, you're flying 2 states north.
No, just two states east.
That's right. You're like going what, 3 hours, 2 hours?
I don't know.
Pansy shit. Like when going back and forth in the UK where it's like a 6 to 10 hour flight depending on which way the winds are going. Like that's when it gets bad because you get the Airbus and there's maybe 1,000 people on the goddamn plane, which makes the luggage carousel getting
if
fun.
If your plane crashes, can I have your PS5?
No.
Who gets your PS5 then?
It goes to my cat.
No. We've worked this out. The cats get the PS5. I get Rule of Rose. You get the Power Rangers helmet.
How do the cats survive without you?
They'll figure it out.
No, because you sell the PS5 and raise money for the cats, and then whoever gets the cats gets the money to take care of the cats. Duh.
Yeah.
Unless you want to buy the PS5, in which case
$20,000.
You buy the PS5 and you put it towards the cat's care, and you get the cats a nice home.
I'm pretty sure Devon's will says I get the PS5 if he does.
I don't even have a will. I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure I have a copy of Devon's will that says.
Okay.
Alexander Mogus gets a copy
wills?
of the PS5. A copy.
There's
of
many
PS5?
things.
Point of life.
There are several things I do not have. Okay. On the list of things I don't have an STD. I don't have a will. And I also don't have a Fursona.
Thank
Please
you.
Stop asking me if I have one. It's pissing me off.
You know what, Devon? You know what, motherfucker? I was going to have the Fursona thing be a running gag in the fucking Twitter space and on my live streams. I was going to try my very best during this recording not to bring up the fact that you have a Fursona and you won't tell me what your Fursona is. But you're the one that organically brought it up on the podcast and I did not. So Adam, you are going to join me today on the latest episode of What is Devon's Fursona? Insert applause during that. Today's contestant number 1, Alexander Mogus, aka Satohara, is a agender person from undisclosed area in Washington who likes long walks in the stars, flying through the space, and snorting weed through his asshole. Contestant number 2 is Adam McLastname, who has already had his name said on the show, but for whatever reason, I'm still uncomfortable saying his last name. He hails from sunny state that exists, where Amish are around and do things. He likes to be with his wife, make videos, and give high fives to the less fortunate. Who will win? Contestant number 1. What is Devon's fursona? I think it's a zebra. Cool! Contestant number 2! What is Devon's fursona?
I think it's significantly more basic, bitch. Like, it's got to be like some big masculine thing. I'm betting it's either a bear or a lion. Complete basic bitch.
Oh my god! 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 Devon's a bear! 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 That's why he won't tell me. That's why he won't tell me what his fursona is, because he's like, I don't want Alexander to make fun of me for being a bear because he went on the brother bear rant. And if my fursona's a bear, then he's gonna be like, your fursona's a bear? Next you're gonna tell me Adam's a moose. Adam's a moose and he's fucking really Canadian and not fucking British. But no, Devon, you can be a bear. You're not a brother bear. You're my brother. You're not my brother bear, but you can be a bear. If your fursona's a bear, you can tell me. You don't have to be ashamed of your fursona, who you really are.
That's why he and his wife could go into Build-A-Bear.
That's why.
We went to Build-A-Bear for the Isabel plush. I what you talking
Shut up.
about.
It's canon now.
You went for the Isabel plush, but you had the key to the place because you are a bear. I
don't have the key for Build-A-Bear.
Devon's a fursona that was built at Build-A-Bear, and they built a Build-A-Bear key in the Build-A-Bear back of Build-A-Bear Devon. Canon.
Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum.
I do not have a fursona.
So if your fursona is a bear, and it was built at Build-A-Bear, does that mean that you have stuffing instead of blood?
I don't have a fucking fursona. Holy shit. How many times I gotta say this?
There's one way to find out he's full of stuffing, and that's we gotta go like full zombie mode on him, like, you know.
Or you could just stab me, you know, give me the whole Xander treatment. Just
Yeah, but I'm hungry.
I'm not on meth.
Well, you're not on meth, and you're hungry, and I'm not a furry. I don't have a fursona. So
I mean, look, I could be undead. I am in Pennsylvania, you know, the land of George A. Romero.
So unless Devon tells us what his fursona is, it's gotta be a bear.
I don't have a fucking fursona, okay?
Adam, what's your fursona?
I mean, I don't vibe with the furry thing, but I mean, I guess I like chameleons.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
cool.
he's more of a scaly, but that's under the furry umbrella. Yeah, I am definitely a basic bitch. I'm a wolf. I'm not self-assigned wolf.
Oh yeah.
I'm not self-assigned wolf, but I mean, look at me. I'm shaggy as fuck. I'm super hyper. I have a bunch of stupid activity. A lot of my social behaviors don't make sense. I'm practically autism given like physical form. I have a bunch of undiagnosed mental disorders. I like to bite children, you know, just fucking completely unprovoked.
Hold on, wait. What was that? What was that last thing?
I like to bite children completely unprovoked. You know, like a pit bull.
He said he likes to run into cars in the middle of the night driving through.
That's a
random
coyote.
states.
Oh,
Those are coyotes.
I'm dating the moon, and I howl at it every night. Yeah, I am a wolf.
You howl at the dark side of the moon.
Or the dark hole of the moon.
The dark hole. Hey!
You know, every single time I see a picture of pit bulls, I have to suppress the urge to be like, look at that brave pack of pit bulls on their way to bite another child.
Holy shit.
Okay, for legal reasons, it's the owners, not the dog, yada yada. For humor reasons, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Obviously, if I say it as a joke, you're not supposed to fucking take it seriously. If you get mad at me for making a fucking pit bulls biting children's joke, and you know who I am,
Yeah.
fuck you. I'm just gonna be honest on you, you goddamn dumb pit mom. Fuck you. I'm gonna make the fucking pit bull biting children joke more. If it's obvious, don't get mad, okay? I'm not advocating for harm for your fucking precious doggy. Your dog's cool.
I think that's the reason. That's the reason why comedians, you know, end up being as good as they can be, and it's because you have to follow the first rule of comedy. You can't make fun of anything until you can make fun of yourself.
Yeah, and I suck. I'll be the first one to make fun of myself. Like, look at me.
And I think that's what
I love making fun of myself.
I think that's why a lot of American comedies honestly fail, in my opinion, just because they can't laugh at themselves. They've always got to make the other, like the butt of every joke. Like, think of like fucking "Don't Mess with the Zohan" or fucking just Adam Sandler's entire.
You
fucking
immediately
catalog,
brought
now
up one of
thinking
the
about
worst fucking examples of it too.
Oof.
Yeah, but like shit like
Rob
that. Or
Schneider's
like The
whole
Ringer with
character
Johnny
is just
Knoxville.
goat.
Yeah.
Like, how fucking
was it
just
a fucking-
embarrassingly goddamn racist is that? We let that fucking movie exist, and a bunch of people I knew it. Movie funny, Adam Sandler butt. Movie funny, he have sex with fat woman. Movie funny.
Like, I keep hearing this argument, and people are talking about, like, comedy films nowadays. Like, Blazing Saddles would never exist today, and I beg to differ, because it's not making fun of the black sheriff. It's making fun of the white people's ignorance. The whole way through, the white people are the butt
It
of
is
the joke.
deconstructing the whole fucking what it means to even be a satire to begin with, to the point where it literally deconstructs the goddamn film at the end of it. Like, Mel Brooks is a fucking genius, and I want to fucking just give him a warm hug and be like, thank you for everything, sir. I hope you have a very wonderful rest.
Like, why does Spaceballs work so damn well? Because Mel Brooks was literally making fun of himself.
Yeah.
Literally, he just took the whole Jews in space joke from History of the World Part 1 and just ran with it.
Oh my god.
I love that
The
film.
stunt double scene always kills me. Like that one.
You
always gets me.
fools! You've not got them! It's the stunt doubles!
That's a good one. And then the what's the other scene?
The assholes scene just slays me every time I
I'm
fucking
surrounded by
see it.
assholes. Yeah, that's
Assholes.
a good one too.
Keep firing, assholes! I'm like, who's he, sir? He's an asshole. I know that. What's his name? That is his name,
The
sir.
thing that fucking gets me the
Private
most
asshole.
about this shit is that fucking, like, the majority of the people who are like, oh, it could never be made this day, are like a bunch of fucking crazy ass fucking like right wing like Nazi fucking types who, if they said that shit in front of Mel Brooks,
Yeah.
he'd look them in the face and be like, are you fucking stupid? This is making fun of you, idiot.
Oh my god! Like I saw the same thing about like people trying to make that thing about Young Frankenstein, particularly the joke with the "you take the blonde, I'll take the brunette," and I'm like, the joke is that he knows he's got no chance. He's fucking Igor. Like, that's the whole joke.
Fucking, you just brought up another goddamn wormhole of a fucking memory about Young Frankenstein, Adam. Thank you. I just moved out to fucking undisclosed location, Oklahoma, with the house that I would live in for the rest of my life until it burned the fuck down in a mysterious fire that I believe is insurance fraud. And fucking, I'm sitting there waiting for like some lawyer or some shit to pop up for like, I don't know what the fuck it was for. I think it was like for house reasons or some shit. But my dad's watching Young Frankenstein and it's black and white, so my brain's like, this is a bad movie and it's boring because I'm too young to understand. And so the entire time I'm bored and it feels like fucking 3 days that I'm sitting there watching this movie. Fast forward years later, this movie comes back on, I'm like, I hate this movie, but I sat down and watched it anyway, like, I love this movie. And now Mel Brooks is fucking amazing. And it just goes to show you that children's brains are stupid. Case in point, I think I might like the Matrix sequels now.
Really?
I think I actually like love them.
I've
now.
never hated them. I've never hated them, but I will openly admit they are nowhere near as good as the initial.
Yeah, so the first film, I have to preface this. The Matrix sequels, even if I end up loving them to a point where I like express a lot of whatever, have a lot of flaws, and I understand why people don't like them. I will say it right there. The first one is a legitimate masterpiece of a film, and the second two are one giant long film that repeat the first film. It's just the first film over again.
Yeah.
But that's the point. And like, I hated these movies as a kid because everybody said they sucked, and the non-action scenes didn't make sense to me and were boring. But I started rewatching them last year, and I got onto this fucking weird thing where like fucking the Oracle's asking, like talking to Neo's like, you already made the fucking decision. You're just trying to figure out why you've made it. And I was like, that's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. I don't know what decision Neo's making. It's like, fuck you, audience member. Like, why do you think you're gonna know what decision he's making yet? He's gonna fucking tell you later on, you stupid shit. But I was like, I'm a little fucking kid in like what, 3rd, 4th grade when these motherfuckers come out, and I'm like, that's stupid.
When did they come out?
What the thing? And then now I'm like, we rewatched it last year, and then she says that thing. I'm like, oh, I fucking get it. I've made all these fucking decisions, and I don't understand why. And understanding why I've made the decisions is the key to actually making the real choice. You fucking stupid motherfucker. And then I started just, yeah. So now that Resurrections is coming out December 22nd, I'm going to force everybody in our group into a Matrix trilogy rewatch. We won't watch them all at once.
I'm fine with that.
Because that's way too long.
I'm fine with that.
I'll be honest.
Liz.
Oh, go ahead.
So Liz has never seen them, I don't think. So like, I'm fine with that.
I'm gonna be honest. I've only ever seen the first one, and I don't remember much of it. And I think I've seen some of the third one. I don't even know if I've seen the second one.
Hell yeah.
So
I'm excited.
I always watch the first two around Christmas time when I'm wrapping gifts. Somehow it just winds up on.
Yeah, for whatever reasons, like Stars and HBO would always play that like around Christmas and shit. I used to.
Well, no, for me, because I was a kid, I had the VHS tapes of it, so I used to just pop it on.
right. Fucking as a kid, I used to hate the highway scene in the Matrix Reloaded with the twins.
Really?
Yeah, because so
That's
my
so
dumb
cool.
kid brain. Okay, so I had this stupid thing in my brain where certain sights like trigger different like sensations in my head. So like different senses. So like Devon knows one example in Blaze Blue, Platinum the Trinity's character design, depending on her color palette, triggers the smell of clogged sinuses in my brain, and like actually physically fucking distracts me. It's just something about the way her design meshes together and her default design and like one of the palette swaps. It's not all of the palettes that do that. That would be weird. But like, I get that same feeling with the twins designs when they do that ghost thing. So every time they do that ghost thing, I just smell sinus fluid in my fucking brain. And that triggers this visceral like dislike of that. And like, now that I'm older and can like separate this weird effects that I have, like sometimes when I'm listening to music, I'll see like visual stimuli and shit like that. And even when I'm sober and shit, it's not even like I smoke too much weed kind of thing. Like this has been an all my life kind of thing. It's fucking crazy as shit, but it's also awesome because I feel like that also helps me make music, because whenever I make music, all of the songs that have made it to completion, I'm literally seeing like with my actual eyes in front of me as I'm making them, like in these weird I can't explain like forms that just there's no words to explain what I'm seeing, but it's just this magnificent fucking like if heaven was real, I'm looking at it as I'm making music and I'm in that zone kind of thing.
I remember the twins were I know that they're a British pair of twins. I forget their exact deal, but I remember vaguely like because they became minor celebrities for a while. They like did a lot of conventions back home, the pair of them, because it was like you always get the pair of them together at like various things, because they had like I think the only thing they'd really been in was like Doctors, which is like a TV soap back home or something like it might have been Doctors, might have been like Olby City, one of those random TV soaps back home, and then they appeared in that and made a shitload of money and retired, and they just did the convention circuit for the rest of their goddamn lives. I remember vaguely seeing them at a whole bunch of shows. Those two are on their phones.
I didn't realize that.
I'm sorry.
I didn't realize they were actually twins. I thought there was just a CGI dude.
No, it's just two. It's Neil and
deGrasse Tyson.
No,
I didn't know Neil deGrasse Tyson was
Neil, and I think it might be Alan or Adrian. I think the last name's Raymond. Rayment. Don't quote me on that. Oh, it might even be Raymond or Raymond. It's something like that. My point is, you'd see them all the fucking time at conventions because, like, hey, here's two British actors who cameoed in this huge fucking thing, and they had a really cool fight scene, which everyone knows, the highway fight scene, which they literally built like a highway, like a 20-mile loop of highway to use, which has then been used like a million fucking times.
So I'm about to pretty much just verbatim steal an entire fucking line of analysis from a video that I watched that has colored the way I talk about the Matrix films. Let me very quickly make sure I'm crediting it right, so that way it's not just a straight up ripoff. God damn, I watched a lot of Binging with Babish. My entire last 3 days is literally just me watching nothing but fucking Binging with Babish videos. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Do you even cook?
Wow, I learned how to create so many foods I'll never ever create just because I fucking watch this shit.
But do you even cook? I've never seen you cook in my life.
I cook a lot.
He cooks.
I especially cooked a lot before the pandemic and shit. Back when I was on back when I was on a ketogenic diet for seizure management and stuff, I came up with a lot of alternatives that were low carb and didn't involve flour and stuff. Anyway, pretty much what I'm about to accidentally completely rip off from is a video by the YouTuber Curio. I believe they're Thamer Sophie on Twitter. You might see them retweeted every once in a while. They're pretty popular as far as I can tell. I like them. They did a analysis, a video called the Matrix sequels are good actually, and the title itself kind of annoyed me, so it made me click on it, so it worked because it got me to click.
Gotcha.
And it was a really good video. So I'm about to pretty much paraphrase an entire thing that I already thought now, but like they explained it better. And so there you go. Watch that video for more of that shit. But fucking the highway scene is so fucking amazing and works for me now because as an adult, So as a kid, I'm really focused on Neo, right? Not realizing he's the blank slate character that I'm not supposed to be necessarily focusing on. Yes, he's the protagonist, but he's not the character through which everything moved initially. The character that I love the most now, that I hold so dearly within my heart, that like drives me through the fucking watching these films, is Morpheus. I fucking love Morpheus. Lawrence Fishburne's portrayal of Morpheus is one of the most fucking powerful goddamn portrayals of a single fucking character I've seen in any fucking series of fucking films ever. And fucking it is conveyed through the most basic of fucking body language, the way he speaks, just the way he looks at fucking the scenery around him and shit. And one of the things that I love the most is that in the first Matrix film, and here's where I start borrowing from the Curio video. In the first Matrix film, Morpheus fighting the agents is a sacrificial act because nobody's been able to fight an agent and live before, and he knows he is sacrificing himself to save who he believes is the one, who is this person who has become his friend, right? And then in the sequel, after Neo has proven that you can not only fight the agents, but they can win, even though Neo's pointed out that they've had fucking upgrades since then, Morpheus knows these motherfuckers can be defeated and pulls out a goddamn fucking sword on the highway, not to fucking distract or sacrifice himself, but because he believes and has fucking this fucking just powerful goddamn belief in his fucking friends and the people he loves and the things around him, and fucking pulls out a goddamn sword and fucking murks these motherfuckers, these goddamn ghost bitches, and fucking makes it out just fucking scot-free. And that it's a great action scene, not only on the choreography alone, but because of the fucking emotional impact that I'm able to fucking understand now as an adult. And I fucking love The Matrix. I fucking love The Matrix. God.
Okay, I'm gonna have to sit down and rewatch it then sometime, because like I said, I don't remember anything about what you're talking about. Because like I'll be honest, the last time I watched Matrix, I think I was like 13.
I'm so sorry to the Wachowskis for calling your film shit for all these years. I was wrong. I was dumb and a kid. Forgive me.
I just wonder how they're gonna like do this whole loop reset for the fourth one, because the theory I keep hearing and thinking is that Neo is technically actually a computer program. He just gets loaded into a body over and over again, but he's effectively an antivirus.
Yeah, that's pretty much confirmed within the Matrix itself. Like the architect's like, you are a program that recycles over and over in order to answer an equation and that to get rid of an anomaly, so that we can make a version of the Matrix that is stable enough to keep you completely under control and end all the conflict and all this shit that's happening on our own terms. And it's just that we keep having to reset it and have this specific program reset it because it is outside the scope of us to be able to reset it, because we're also programs. It just so happens that he keeps inhabiting the body of a human and all that shit. Yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna fucking handle 4, but there's this fucking I read this interview with Lana about like why she like decided it was time, and the quote that like made me start fucking sobbing is like both the Wachowskis were like, no, we're not gonna do a 4th one, the story's over, but they just lost their parents recently, and in this interview Lana's like, my brain has always reached into my imagination, and one night I was just crying and I couldn't sleep, and suddenly my brain just exploded this whole story. I couldn't have my mom and dad, and I couldn't talk to my mom, and yet suddenly I had Neo and Trinity, arguably the 2 most important characters in my life, and it was immediately comforting. And that's why this new Matrix exists. And I don't know, man. Like, this just feels like I'm ready to accept this movie. I want this movie to come out, man.
How are they going to bring Trinity back, though? That's the real question. Is Trinity also?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. The fact that this even exists. I play the MMO, dude. Even as a kid.
Well, wait. There's a Matrix MMO?
The Matrix Online. It was an official Wachowski sanctioned and like approved and overviewed and like all that MMO that was a continuation of the storyline. And in it,
yeah, because the Morpheus refused to believe that Neo was actually dead.
Because he kind of. Do you guys care about the Matrix Online spoilers? Because it's a defunct game that you can't play anymore.
Who the fuck cares? Yeah, you can't even access it anymore.
Devon, if you don't want spoilers for the Matrix, just mute us.
Well, apparently, Morpheus is in Matrix Resurrections due to a weird Matrix video game.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm about to spoil a little bit about the Matrix for everybody.
Okay. I need to step away for a moment anyway, so you guys go ahead and talk about this. So I'm gonna step away for just a moment.
Hell yeah.
So.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, text
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Text me when I can come back.
Yeah, so for all of you at home and all that shit, fucking The Matrix Online is the official goddamn continuation of the fucking. I can't believe we're talking about The Matrix for majority of the goddamn podcast now. Fucking The Matrix Online is the official fucking continuation and shit, and in it, they never got Neo's body, and there is a very weary peace in quote unquote between the machines and the red pills and this other faction that wants to be put back in the Matrix. And they're all kind of competing with each other to kind of dictate the future of this shit. And Morpheus refuses to leave Neo's fate behind him. Without having their body, he doesn't believe that Neo is dead. And he says, he's like, if Neo is dead, I just at least want to be able to bury my fucking friend. You know? Like, at this point, it's no longer about the one. It's about, this was his friend, you know? And so, a bunch of bad actors in the background take advantage of this uneasy peace and Morpheus's feelings and make out his group to be a splinter group that has like this cult-like fanaticism behind him and all this shit. Fucking drag his reputation in the mud and eventually assassinate his motherfucking ass after it's confirmed that Neo has been re-entered into the Matrix. And his consciousness exists and the machines have put him back in. And the Matrix ends.
And I wonder that's how they're gonna bring Trinity back as well.
So yeah, I have no idea. Dude. I remember the day they ended the fucking servers and shit, and everybody was flattened, and the Matrix servers went offline and shit. And I wonder how much of the game they're gonna incorporate into the movie and how much they're not. I'm completely fine if they don't incorporate the Matrix Online and they go in an entirely new direction because they didn't want to like prevent themselves from going on, in new interesting directions and all that. I'm fine with that. But if they,
I wonder if they'll just recap it in like the first 20 minutes.
That would be cool.
It.
But if they do explore that,
probably makes the most sense.
I'm gonna scream in the middle of the theater because I'm fully vaccinated and I'm watching this in theaters.
You know what? It's a weird thing. I haven't missed theaters.
Right, I'll go ahead and text Devon and let him know you can come back.
All the things during the pandemic we've not been able to do. I can't really say. The last thing I saw in the theaters, no nuts, was Endgame. It's been a while. I just can't say I've missed it that much. Like, I enjoy it, but like it's not something I need to do. Which is kind of funny because I've got a bachelor's in fucking film. I much prefer watching it at home, comfortable, with a glass of good
Did
something.
Joker come out after Endgame?
Maybe.
Yeah, because Joker's 2019, right?
I think they're both 2019. I just don't know which one came out first.
Let's see.
Off the top of my head, anyway.
Let me look up. Joker 2019 was released in... I have to click all the way on the Wikipedia page. Oh my god. It doesn't tell me in the first sentence anymore. Okay, United States' opening was October 4th. Endgame.
Okay. I think Endgame was before then. I think Endgame was like April.
Yeah, I remember...
Okay, I'm back. Wow, what a story!
Yeah, Endgame was April. So yeah, Endgame came out first. So I guess the last movie I saw was Joker.
Wait, are you talking about the last movie you saw in theaters?
Yeah, it was Joker.
Yeah. Mine was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, I had a much better film than yours. I fucking hate that movie.
I liked Sonic. I liked Sonic the Hedgehog.
Apparently, it's actually decent. Like, I mean, for a video adaptation,
It's
apparently,
just it's just the movie. Hop.
Actually, hold on. Actually, it might not have been Sonic the Hedgehog. When did they did a re-airing of Spider-Verse right around my birthday, but I'm not sure if that was in 2020 or 2019.
Did you see Scott Pilgrim recently?
Oh yeah, no, that's the last movie I saw in theaters. Yeah. I meant pre-pandemic, but no, if we're talking about in general.
Yeah, for me it was Endgame.
Yeah, then the last movie I saw in general in theaters was what was it? Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim.
Well, I was saying how I just kind of don't miss it in a weird way. Like it's cool and all, but I can live without it.
If I had a bunch of fuck you money and I successfully engineered some sort of, let's say, revolution within some sort of political sphere, and didn't feel like I would be wasting too much money on just just self-indulgence, I would like to create a private theater that I could just live inside of, so that way I could still have the experience without the people. Because I like the big screen and the big sound.
Yeah.
I just don't like the big disease.
Yeah. Yeah, particularly right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Can we call him Paddington?
No.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, stop.
Oh my god, if your Fursona's a bear, what's your Fursona's name?
Paddington, clearly.
I do not have a Fursona.
Just Padding?
I don't know how much more clearly I can state this to you.
Okay, to be fair,
I do not
if it's a
have a
Fursona,
Fursona.
it would typically have your own name, you know?
Okay, but I don't
So,
have
Devon
a
the
Fursona.
bear.
There's no
Devon
bear.
the bear.
There's no bear.
Isn't that a game you go on to Google Images, you put in your name, the
Oh
hedgehog?
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, I did that a couple times. That's I get some weird shit like a Han.
Well, I have a bit more of a common name than you two, so I put in Adam the Hedgehog, and it's just a wall.
Alexander's a very
Yeah,
common
it's-
name, and every single person who sucks calls themselves Alex. There's a bunch of Alex the Hedgehogs.
Well, you go by Xander, so it'll be Xander the Hedgehog, which I felt is probably some over-designed OC.
Like, I
out there.
prefer Alexander overall, but like I'm cool with Xander. I prefer being called butt cheese.
What?
Xander's preferred pronouns are button cheese.
Oh, okay. Real talk, I don't put pronouns in bio because every single
That's a-
time I think
that's-
about
that-
it, it
that's
looks
a
like
joke.
it looks like a shit post.
Yeah. Like I recently did it on undisclosed website for because it gave me the option to put my what do you go by, and I put it on there. I don't realize I was gonna put on the profile like right next
Yeah.
to my name.
Well, 'cause,
key
like,
him, and I'm like,
If I was like a fucking he him or whatever, like that would feel like whatever. That feels appropriate. That doesn't feel like I'm making a meme or whatever. But if I go up and I'm just like any/all, that looks like a fucking meme. That looks like I'm making fun of a motherfucker. You know, like we're not far enough
Yeah.
into the gender abolition movement where fucking agender is a concept that you can just get off of reading something like any/all or whatever. Like, you know, I don't identify with a fucking gender or whatever.
like,
And that's why I love The
just don't
Matrix,
do it
I guess.
because- I just don't do it just because, like, I feel like on the Twitter profile, like, it starts with a British man reviews media. You know, I figured that kind of is the context
Yeah.
clue right there. And also, like, I tend to stay away from it because no matter what side of that argument you fall onto, whenever that argument starts up, it just ends up in shuddery. Because it ends up being like, LMAO, why am I taking you seriously? Hashtag pronouns
Yeah.
in bio. And the responsive, you fucking bigot. And it's
And that's
just a whole bunch
the
of
other cool
shuddering. I want
thing
nothing to do
about
with it.
like not putting it in there is so okay. I want to normalize the pronoun things. I want people to be comfortable sharing that kind of stuff, and I want people to actively go out of their way to make sure that they're gendering people correctly, because that's just a fucking kind thing to do. And gender's a fucking invention by fucking humans anyway, and doesn't exist outside of our goddamn stupid brains that design stupid ways to classify us. But nobody's ready for that black pill yet, Jimmy. But
Yeah, yeah. I can't do this shit anymore.
yeah, you should. I can't either.
Yeah, Jimmy, you cis asshole.
But fucking, but like not having it there has it the advantage of I never have the stupid fucking response of LMAO pronouns in bio because I don't have any.
It's like the only winning move is to not play.
I have my pronouns in my bio, but that's just for inclusivity.
Yeah.
Just
See,
want-
I
support
100%
people.
support that. I feel like I want to do that. I want to point out some way of being like, all pronouns are cool with me without it looking like a shit post, like a helicopter joke or some stupid shit like that, because it could very easily come off like that. You know? Could very easily come off.
That's
like
such
that.
an old.
It's the only
at
joke they
this
fucking
point.
know.
That's been-
They only know helicopter joke and pronouns in
it's
bio.
over a decade old.
I was watching a show the other day. I don't remember what show it was, but it made like I know it was a show I enjoyed back in the day. But they made like a I identify as blank joke, and I was just like, that didn't age at all. That didn't age well whatsoever because it was never funny in the first place. But like, I don't remember what the show
Back
was.
in the day, I don't know. I disagree. I think back in the day, we were making fun of Tumblr and particularly the very far-reaching movement over there. It was kind of funny, but that was when it was very, very far-reaching and very much grasping at straws over there. And then it became, as a result of that, and probably a good thing, it became more mainstream to recognize people with actual issues rather than people who fetishize them. And it became, obviously now in hindsight, that joke doesn't work anymore. I think back then it made a little bit of sense in context.
The show How I Met Your Mother made a couple of jokes about very transphobic jokes, and I didn't realize it until my most recent rewatch of it. I was just like, hey, like there's like there's like a couple of jokes in general where like they just say like, it's like they have a female character go like, I remember when I had a penis, or like a female character goes, I used to be a dude. It's just like, and then like the dude characters like are just like reacting to it in a way.
Yeah,
but
the
it's like,
transpanic
it's never
thing.
like they're. Yeah, it's like they're never actually like trans or anything like that. It's always in like a flashback sort of like, or like a thought thing, like a joke cutaway gag sort of thing. So it's like they never are trans, but it's just like there is one joke where they do a transsexual slur, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that one. So it's just, I don't know, just some stuff doesn't age well, but you gotta remember like that's just how it was at the time, and you just
okay, controversial fucking opinion. The T word has never been fucking funny to me in the entirety of my life. Every single time I ever fucking heard it growing up, the moment I understood what the concept of somebody changing their gender was, like because my dad worked with somebody who changed their gender, and my mom was very mean-spirited about, and so I was exposed to the concept very early. The moment I understood that concept, that word would have made me fucking cringe. It's just like when my fucking friends, like when we were growing up, would casually say the N-word. It's the same fucking thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't like fucking hearing that shit. Like, there are certain words that just have that bam to them that you're like, that's not a good one.
No.
Yeah. I remember like when I was it's less I guess I'm trying to think of a way to put it. It's less to do with gender and sexuality and more to do with race. There's one back home to describe people of Middle Eastern descent, which is a shortened version of Pakistani. You can probably work out what it is from that alone. Yeah. And whenever you hear that one, it's just like, oh, it just doesn't even sound nice. Like there's, there's words that sound they've got jagged edges. And they just cut through the air and cut through the conversation. Like, oh god, I agree with you. By the way, like the T1 is like as soon as you hear it, like it annoys me that sometimes because there is a piece of a car which is referred to as that, which has its own legitimate thing, but it's like it always kind of catches you off guard when you hear it. Oh, they're talking about the that's what they're talking about. Yeah, they're talking about the transmission. Yeah. Or like when I'm talking to my people back home, and obviously a certain word used to describe homosexual, particularly men here, is used back home to describe cigarette. Yeah. Or there's actually literally a food called that, which is just a bundle up of basically like ground meats, like usually ham and beef and lamb served in gravy. And people go to a restaurant, please can I get that? Words. And it never fazed me until I moved to the States, and like the context here is oof.
Words are weird, and a lot of them I just don't like. It's just like if someone says they don't like hearing a specific word, it's not hard to take it out of your vocabulary. Like I used to say a lot of not great words when I was younger, and I think
it's also part of maturing.
It's all part of the process. It's like maturing. I'm not the same guy I was when I was 15. It's just that's not who I am or what I do anymore. But
I mean, you what 35 now?
Oh, shut
20 years ago?
But like, just for the sake of personal accountability, and so nobody goes like that I'm trying to like whitewash anything about myself. Just because I was super cool about the concept of gender change does not mean I was super cool about the entirety of the concept or like super cool about other things. Unfortunately, I was growing up in Oklahoma, and unfortunately, a bunch of stupid kids convinced me that gay people were bad for a while, and I do have a lot of unsavory fucking past opinions on that thankfully didn't make it past middle school, but did exist, and you have to acknowledge that kind of shit. Fucking weren't great.
Yeah.
I just remember being the kid who was just like, because when I was growing up, like, gay marriage in the UK was very much coming up on the bill. It was very much one of those things that was heavily debated, particularly in the news and by the COE. I remember even as a kid, I was just like, what's the problem? Well, I don't see the problem. Mm-hmm. I'm like a 6-year-old kid. I remember like somebody turns to me and goes, why do you care if they can get married? What are you, gay? And I was like, no. And I'm like, that was the immediate reaction I got was, accuse me of being. I mean, I'm not, but I don't see the issue. I don't know. I'm like, whatever. Let them be happy. Let people be happy.
Yeah.
This got into a really deep section of the podcast.
We keep getting deep into
most beliefs.
Well, I had like this quote unquote friend like back in middle school that like convinced me from the religious angle that like fucking the gay people were a bad thing kind of thing, and like so I was like fucking hyper Baptist for like fucking 2 years because of like this friend, and I wanted to like fit in with them. So I was super bullied and shit, obviously. So a lot of the reason why people treat other people like shit is because they want to fucking be included by people who treat them like shit, and that's no excuse for the behavior. But, you know, acknowledge why it happened so that way you don't repeat it and all that shit. And yeah, so I had that super hyper religious fucking like, fucking angle to it. But then, you know, once things changed, realized different backgrounds converted over to Judaism and shit and all that kind of stuff happened, fucking like gained a better understanding. It also helped that the very first time my dad ever heard any single fucking I don't like gay people shit out of my mouth, he got just ridiculously fucking upset with me. It was like, what even possibly is the reason why you would even think this is a bad thing? And like point for point would just go, no, that's stupid on every single stupid point I could come up with, to the point where I was just like, I don't like it. And he's like, that's dumb.
Just,
that is dumb.
Being also growing up in Oklahoma, whenever it came to gay people, I never really cared. It's just like, okay, you're gay, cool. Like the way I was raised, I wasn't raised to like think badly about other people, regardless of who they are, what they do. Just
liberals, but they don't count as people.
And in defense of my parents, before we move on too far deep and I forget about this, I want to reiterate, my parents did not teach me any of the hyper-religious stuff, the hate people stuff, any of the negative shit I felt towards people. All of that stuff I learned from peers, from classmates, from people around me who bullied me and made my life a fucking living hell because I wanted to fucking fit in with them and shit. My parents, for all of their faults later on in life, had a very good baseline of what was right and what was wrong for me, and so thumbs up to them.
Yeah, like I said, so I wasn't raised like to think badly of people, and when it came to people in certain circles I wanted to hang out with, quote unquote, I only really ever hung out with people that kind of came to me, like they kind of like drifted towards me because we had the similar thought processes and stuff. So like a lot of my friends are also pro LGBT, and a lot of them actually end up being like after high school were either gay or bisexual or and it's just how I openly came out about a lot of stuff in my life. Like I only recently have I come out as bisexual. Like 2018, so it's only been a couple of years I've been open and out about it. So I mean, it's like, being by myself. And I used to like whenever kids would call me gay or call me like the F slur, I was just like, but okay, why though? Like that.
And I get to be the token straight on the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I am a gynophile as far as sexuality goes. Since I'm agender, I can't really classify myself as homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual. I have to go based on physical characteristics and stuff like that. So a gynophile is, more the female,
he liked the pussy,
breast and all that kind of stuff. I lean more towards that. As far as like traits. Like the andro traits and stuff, for whatever reason, I just don't really find masculine traits physically attractive.
Well, the old bi saying, every hole's a goal.
Yeah.
Speaking of goals, I want to change topic real quick. Unless Adam,
before we do, Devon, I had to ask you. This is sheerly for the meme. How do you sit? Because there's obviously a running joke that bisexuals cannot sit.
Oh no, bisexuals can't sit properly. I sit properly in my office chair, but like in my chair at home, like I will sit with like my legs like hung over like the side, or like when I'm laying on the couch. When I'm sitting on the couch, I don't sit on the couch. I lounge on the couch, just like just doing this sort of thing. Like I cannot sit properly for the life of me, and I refuse to. So
Xander's making a face. Are you not familiar with this running joke?
No. I don't.
Yeah, dude. There's
a running joke. It started on Tumblr. It's kind of leaked on the Twitter a few times, but it's just kind of funny. Basically, the running gag is that bisexuals cannot sit properly, and they'll post pictures of like bisexual people, bisexual celebrities, and they are just sitting in the weirdest possible fucking ways that look completely unnatural to everybody but them.
Yeah, us bisexuals are a weird breed. We sit weird. We do a lot of weird shit in general, but you know that's just how we are.
All valid.
That's just how we do, and we are valid.
That's
Thank
how
you.
they be. But sorry, speaking of holes. And
Oh
goals,
right, so give me just a second here. I'm gonna send a thing to my wife because she asked me why I went.
Oh, I thought you were loading up porn for a second. I got really concerned. I was like,
Okay.
we just talked about
No.
porn on the
I'm
last
like-
episode.
like
Please
you
no.
do.
So shut up.
You
Okay.
know, I'll happily watch porn with you guys, but heads up first.
Okay, so every holds a goal. Speaking of goals, so on Twitter and in the fighting game community, there has been a massive push for Capcom to re-release or remake. Not specifically Capcom, but Digital Eclipse to remake or remaster Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And
Yes.
recently, Digital Eclipse studio head Mike Mika has confirmed that there are talks between Capcom and Disney about a potential Marvel vs. Capcom 2 remaster.
Woo!
So, I'm super fucking excited because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of my.
It's a banger.
It's one of my favorite fighting games. It's way up there. It's like, if you know me, you know I love Marvel vs. Capcom, like the older ones, the 2D sprite based ones. So giving me an HD remake of one of the best, like 3v3.
Well, another HD re-release.
Yeah, another HD re-release of one of the best 3v3 fighting games. I'm gonna explode. Like, I'm gonna play this like all the
I'm
fucking
gonna
time.
come.
And yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
Because like I have the original one on 360, but that got delisted in like 2014. Like it's been
I
a
know,
hot minute.
I know he's gonna be like, it was a community that rallied behind this that did this, and he's right, and I'm not gonna discredit the community. But however, I do want to.
Xander froze.
Oh, of course I froze. I'm gonna just keep talking. We good now? All right, cool.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't want to discredit like anything the community's like done, because obviously yes, it took the flood of his support from the community to get this back. But Maximilian,
Max,
dude,
yeah.
kickstarting the
Yes,
campaign.
Maximilian, dude.
Holy shit, dude!
Yeah.
This dude's a fucking legend.
Absolutely. I love Maximilian. He's actually kind of the big reason I got back into fighting games.
Yeah,
as
for
well,
sure. He's the only
was
fighting game
because
creator
I
I
was
consistently
watching.
still watch too.
Yeah, like
Well,
I was
Stage
watching
Jam, too.
I was watching his Assist Me series, because I wanted to learn Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and people were telling me, "Oh yeah, watch this." I'm like, "Okay, cool," and like he had a bunch of videos, and they were funny, and I enjoyed them, and like and while I'm not super great at Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Adam can attest to that.
Yeah, if you're getting beaten by me in that game, you really aren't that good.
Look, it's been a long time since I've played. I put it down for a while, and also my team is fucking. It's Nova, Phoenix Wright, and Virgil. Okay, only one of those characters is good. Okay,
Two of those characters are good.
two of those characters are good. Okay, and I'm bad with.
One's a meme.
I'm bad with one of them, and I'm only good with the. I'm only really good with the meme character. Let's be real here. Like, of course I'd be good with Phoenix Wright, and that's it. So
And then there's me with fucking Trish, Doom, and Sense.
fuck off.
Try hard supreme.
Fuck off. But yeah, I mean, like I love Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because that's just one I like to jump in with my wife, and I have it on Dreamcast and PlayStation 2. So I've got two copies
own that
of
on
it.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, and it's really fun, and I don't want people to have to shuck out like a boatload of money just to play these games.
Especially when
Like,
those old
it
games
needs
don't
to
even
be
have rollback.
exactly.
Yeah.
it needs-
Oh god, it's got the old like pre-Street Fighter 4 netcode as well.
Yeah, and I'm glad that now there's finally talks between Capcom and Disney to get that stuff remastered. I mean, there's a lot of barriers that have to be taken care of, a budget, and then resources to get the game running on modern machines and stuff like that. But I'm almost word for word saying everything that's in this article. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna link it in our group chat here. Shout outs to Rockman Corner, specifically Brian at Proto Dude. Great dude. I've been following him for a while now. I love his stuff. Any fan of Proto Man is a friend of mine. So if I'm being honest, but I'm super excited for a potential Marvel vs. Capcom 2 remaster. Like, yes, let's do it, baby. Let's do this shit. Let's go.
I just hope they this time around they can build it off of the Dreamcast version's code, because last time around they didn't have access to that, so they ended up using the PlayStation 2's version source code to build it off of. I mean, wasn't that bad. It was fine. It ran completely fine. It was just weird.
Yeah. I hope they end up actually giving us Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel Superheroes back in, because that Marvel Superheroes is my shit.
Yeah, I have that on 360 as well for the back compatibility.
Yeah, I have the collection on my Xbox account. I just don't have an Xbox anymore. So,
and it's not back compatible either. You can't put it on One or Series X, which is dumb.
Wait, I can't put the Legacy collection on. That's so stupid.
It's delisted. You can't. They won't bother putting.
Can I re-download it? Can I re-download it at least?
Yeah,
okay,
you can
cool.
re-download it onto an Xbox 360, but you would need a 360.
Just to play Marvel Superheroes in HD.
Like, I have like the X-Men arcade game, which the same thing happened to, and I think the Simpsons arcade game as well.
Yo, I have that on PS3. Okay, you know what? Speaking of arcade games, fucking the arcade 1-up machines, I fucking love those. And my dream is to one day own the Marvel Superheroes arcade 1-up machine, and I just want it in my house, in my office.
I kind of want the Final Fight one.
Final Fight.
I know what you get Devon for Christmas now. Besides the vital bracelet that I'm also going to get him for Christmas, but also satisfies my own personal desire to have Devon do everything I do, because I'm just realized I've been wearing my vital bracelet without a Digimon even loaded in there for no reason. Okay, that's cool.
Bro, no, the arcade 1-up cabinet for Marvel vs. Capcom, or not Marvel vs. Capcom, specifically Marvel Superheroes, is like $400.
Okay, I'll put on like lightweight.
Well, I'm gonna get Xander a David Draiman.
Thank you.
Like, this wasn't just a joke last episode. This is the real thing that's gonna happen now.
Cool.
There are no jokes, only facts.
They have a 2-player countercade. Oh, I need the 2-player one. That's cool. I want to play everyone in. Okay, I
had this crazy fucking dream about David Draiman the other night. This fucking it was really bad.
Let's say your crazy fucking dream about David motherfucking goddamn bitch ass Draiman.
Fucking the guy. Okay. It's actually a fucking nightmare, kind of.
You know.
Okay. So like, I think I told the story when I met David Draiman once, like at the Rockstar Energy Mayhem Festival back when I turned 18 and all that shit. Was super drunk. It was all cool and all that. Fucking
yes.
But like, so my dream fucking reincorporated that experience, but I was like 4 times as drunk as I actually was during it, and I couldn't fucking see around me. And like, David Draiman fucking was like really mean this time, you know, and like intentionally trying to hurt my feelings. He was super cool when I actually met him, and I want to like stress that. So like, this is just like a weird nightmare, like revision of all that stuff. But he's like being really mean. He was calling me like fat and like making fun of me and like my skin and my psoriasis and shit. I was like, I'm gonna tell your mom you're drunk. I'm gonna tell your mom you're drunk. And like shit that shouldn't bother me, but you know, when you're asleep and having a dream, it's like, no. And then my pants disappeared and I was just in my underwear, and David Draiman was making fun of me for being in my underwear at the Rockstar Energy Mayhem tour. And then like, eventually the whole world started crumbling apart. And then David Draiman was like this giant fucking Attack on Titan David Draiman. And like, was silent and was just staring at me, and all I could hear was like the gurgle of his fucking stomach, and he was just staring at me for like 20 straight fucking minutes, and it was super fucking creepy. And I realized that I had been bound and I couldn't move my arms, and so fucking he was just staring at me, right? And the fucking 20 minutes felt like fucking 20 years or whatever, some weird shit like that. But eventually fucking that shit like ended, and he fucking like leaned in real close and just like, in like this real deep, because he's a giant fucking Titan thing, right? Like, it would have been funny if he would have like did it normally, but it wasn't funny, and he didn't do it normally, and it scared the fuck out of me. And like, he closed his mouth, so I'm like, is he not gonna hit me? But then he reopened his mouth and like bites me in the chest and rips my fucking chest open, and I feel the fucking like actual pain in my fucking goddamn fucking like actual like body. And so, have you ever had like sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
Okay, so like every time I ride the bus, I have like something that's like sleep paralysis where I'm almost consciousness or whatever. But him biting into my chest makes me half conscious. And so I'm laying in my bed, unable to move in this sleep paralysis as David Draiman is ripping my fucking chest open with his fucking giant fucking titan maw. And fucking I'm just laying there fucking like feeling the pain, unable to move. Kind of realizing now that I'm in a dream but unable to do anything about it. And like he just fucking leans in and like goes for the fucking kill to like finish me off and eats me entirely. And as he fucking eats me, this has been insert title here. Please subscribe. Please make sure to follow us on any of the podcasts that you're listening to. Give us a like on YouTube. We don't have a Facebook or whatever. Check out our Twitter at It's the Horse Pod. All of our links are below, so I'm not going to shill all that, but make sure to subscribe to Adam's YouTube. Go follow Devon on Twitch. Check me out on Twitch and listen to my music. All of our stuff is in the links provided on the website, so we don't have to keep shilling. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I got vored by David Draiman last night, and I didn't fucking enjoy that. None of that was a joke.
Did you watch Zack Snyder's fucking Dawn of the Dead remake or something?
No, but I did listen to our podcast last night, I guess, in preparation, and you did bring up Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake, and maybe that did have something to do with it. I don't like that movie. I hate that movie.
You know what we should do? Special idea for Halloween? We should, like, do a commentary track for it.
Oh, yeah. We can use the It's Them Henry name for it.
And on that note, good night, piss off, we're gone. Damn.
Dicks.